We are live.
Let's give it a few minutes to load so it'll pop up and we'll, I guess, truly start the episode and tell who we are in like the 1 minute mark. So that way it shows up on everybody's stuff that we're live. But yeah, as you can see, clearly we're doing a Halloween episode today. And clearly we decided to do it live for no real reason other than the fact that it's Halloween. So I've got the little thing over here. It gave me the notification that we're live. I'm just gonna be consistent and start it at the 1 minute mark just because I already said that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So it is the 1 minute mark. So welcome everybody to the Queen's Yanks channel. As always, we definitely appreciate you coming in today. Clearly, as you can see, the normal two guys are not here right now.
Yep.
I am the Luchador Ripper, and I am happy to be here, and I am taking the place of the normal guy in Las Vegas. Who's this guy over here to my, I guess, left or right? I don't know which side you're going to be on the YouTube channel.
You're talking about me.
I am talking about you,
Well, I am the Pentagrag.
the Pentagrag. So I think we got a good tag team going on here. I mean, I think we could go challenge for the WWE or the AEW tag team titles at this point,
I believe you're right.
and nobody would know our identities. So in the spirit of Halloween, and first of all, if you're watching this live, good morning if you're on the West Coast. It is 10 o'clock here, and the weather's perfect. Good afternoon if you're on the East Coast. Don't know what the weather's like there, Adam. Or Pentagrag, you want to tell us what the weather's like there?
It is nice. It's mild. It's not raining. So it's probably the best weather that we've had in over a week at this point. So I'll take it.
And I guess good evening if you're watching the recording of this, or happy weekday if you're watching the recording of this, whatever day it is you watch this. Thank you for watching. Today is not going to be too insanely long of a video, but in the spirit of Halloween, we wanted to do our a list that we both came up with our own. We don't know who's on each other's list, like usual. 5 scariest current footballers in the spirit of Halloween. Do you have anything to say about our list before we get started on it, Adam?
I am excited to do this one. This is going to be a fun one, and I'm interested to see if we have any of the same scary footballers on our lists.
I am as well. Do you want me to kick it off, or you want to kick it off?
I'll let the Luchador Ripper go ahead and rip it off.
Sounds good. So at number 5 on my list, I'm going to compare each of these to, well, most of these to horror movies. What's Halloween without Chucky, right? And what does Chucky do? Chucky runs around and causes trouble. You know who else does that, Adam? Or Pentagrag?
Who does that?
Sergio Ramos. He is, I think, has the La Liga record for red cards. I could be wrong on that, but I think he does. He causes havoc everywhere he goes. Some would say he's probably the dirtiest player in football. However, he is now united with his arch nemesis Messi at PSG. But he is the Chucky of my list at number 5, 35 years old, in the twilight of his career, but still going strong. So number 5, Chucky Sergio Ramos.
Definitely a good nickname association. So my number 5, if we're going with nicknames here, I did not do that, but if we're going with nicknames, I guess I would have to go with I guess maybe a vampire would be the best association here. My number 5 pick for their scariest footballers is going to be someone who is known for biting people. I don't know if he has a lust for blood or human flesh. I mean, so I guess you could either refer to him as a vampire or refer to him as a zombie. Either one probably fits. But my number 5 pick has at least 3 known biting incidents. that he's been involved in, and he currently plays for Atletico Madrid. It would be Luis Suarez.
Not a bad pick, because my number 5 is also a vampire, by the same name as the person you just said. Because the fact that he goes around biting people. So yeah, just to add right to that, my number 4 was also was Luis Suarez as well. He was the vampire of my list. Maybe not the most intimidating person if you're just standing next to him and looking at him per se, but the fact that he literally has had more than one biting incident, I mean, that's got to count for something, right? So
Yeah,
Luis Suarez of Atletico Madrid, formerly of Barcelona, formerly of Liverpool, comes in at number 4 on my list.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, to your point, he's not certainly not scary stature wise. Like if you look at him, you're not really going to think of you're not going to be scared, but just the fact that there's a chance that you could get bitten by him at any point in time. That makes him pretty scary. Uh, so I'll move on to my number 4 pick. My number 4 pick, he holds just about every record you can possibly imagine in and out of La Liga for red cards. And you never know when he's apt to injure someone. So I don't know if you would want to consider him like maybe Texas, maybe the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Leatherface, I guess I should say, or if you want to consider him, you could probably list off a number of them, but you are going to recognize this one because Jeremy already mentioned this one at his number 5, but my number 4 is Sergio Ramos, who is just moved over to PSG. So I feel for anyone in Ligue 1 as far as that's concerned, because it was a Liga that was falling suspect to all of his many uh, kicks and what have you. I mean, I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but he's broken the legs. He's like
Yeah.
numerous injuries. So another one whose stature wise isn't really scary per se, but I mean, he's always a risk to hurt someone.
So we'll move on to our top 3. By the way, that's kind of funny. We had 4 and 5, pretty much the same person, just flipped. So I'm interested to see if we have the same people on our entire list. So my number 3, what does a guy like Frankenstein? What do you think of when you think of Frankenstein? You think of a large guy who is a monster looking, who just quite frankly can just steamroll anyone he pleases. Um, this guy is the youngest person on my list by almost 10 years. He is a Premier League player. In terms of physical appearance, he may be the most bodybuilding looking dude on my list. He is the Wolverhampton machine, Atreya. He is his height and weight. I'm not even going to mention it because I don't think he actually weighs that much. Because according to that, he's not much different from me. But I assure you, he looks much different from me. And he comes in at number 3 on my list. Not necessarily that he's a dirty player or anything, but if you just look at the guy,
Mhm.
it's. I mean, he doesn't look like he should be playing football. That's for sure. He looks like he should be competing in maybe in. I mean, some weightlifting competitions, maybe even fitness modeling. I mean, he's a built dude. He's built like a Greek god, pretty much. Not only is he large, but he's also sculpted. So he is my Frankenstein of my list, number 3, trailer from Wolverhampton. And I'm actually not sure if he's played anywhere else, as I'm not a Wolves fan.
Mhm. Yeah, he. So that was actually someone that when putting together my list, initially had in my top 5, because he is just an absolute like fitness freak.
Yep.
I mean, if I'd be shocked if he had more than 1% body fat. I mean, and there's no way that he's. I want to say they have him listed at like 160, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
I'm
there's
160.
mhm. Yeah, there's just no way he's there's absolutely no way. But so that's gonna be the first one that I guess is different. I kind of after the bottom two because my number four, number five, scariest were more of the dirty type players, and then my three through one are more of the physically imposing slash scary type. Um, so my number three is the goes by the nickname. I believe his actual nickname is the Terminator, um, which kind of should indicate to you how scary he is between his physique along with his pace of play and ability to finish plays. Probably the scariest sight that any Bundesliga goalkeeper sees throughout the season. And at 6'4", my number three scariest footballer is Erling Haaland.
Hey,
He's
that's not bad. I mean, how young he is, he looks like a man-child out there.
Yeah, yeah, and when you see him barreling down the pitch at you with little to no defenders in his way, that has to be one of the scariest sights in football.
And he has one of the stiffest runs I've ever seen. And how he is that fast running that goofy, I have no idea. I mean, he does not look like he should be. He looks like I don't even mean this in a bad way. The way he runs, he looks like any normal person could beat him in a foot race. But somehow that man is the fastest person on the pitch.
Hmm.
Don't know
Yep.
how, but it is. So at my number two, I have um, God himself. I compare him to maybe Michael Myers. He goes by God. He goes by the Lion. However you want to say it. The difference between he and pretty much everyone else on my list is he's not afraid to do anything he says. If he says it, he will do it. If he gets in your face and says he's going to punch you, he means it. And you know this because if you look up this guy who I'm about to say his name, if you haven't figured it out, if you look up Zlatan Ibrahimovic bloopers or funny videos, you will see people back down from him at any chance. If he gets in your face, you back down. If you're trying to defend him and he stares at you, you back down because you know he really will knock you out. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is my number two, and he's the oldest person on my list at 40 years old and just scored last weekend. I mean, the guy is a freak of nature, scoring in essentially a top four league. I mean, injuries have hampered him a little bit this year, but he's still scoring goals this year. Um, this man is probably one of the biggest menaces to ever play this game. He's tall, he's intimidating, he even fights his own teammates in the locker rooms. I mean, I don't remember the exact story, but one time I think he even threatened to kill his manager and had to be held back at Barcelona. I believe it was at Barcelona. Um,
Yeah, I believe
but
you're right.
yeah, he just somebody I wouldn't want to mess with. so 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 Zlatan comes in at number two on my list.
Perfect. It makes sense. So my number two is a very imposing figure in my opinion. Given his size and style of play, he's very physical. He once played in the MLS, and I think saying that he was a man amongst boys is probably an understatement because it was just ridiculous to see him play in the MLS. I mean, he literally towered above pretty much any opponent. I mean,
And if
people
this
would.
is and if this is who I'm thinking, his first goal ever was the best goal I've ever seen in MLS, and probably is the best goal in MLS history.
Yeah, you probably know where I'm going with this, but uh, I've seen if you see any videos of him playing, I mean, people are literally just like flying off of him when they'd run into him, just given his size. But without any further ado, my number two is also Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's just it's just ridiculous. 6'5", is one of the most physical players I've seen, and literally scariest players that I've ever seen. Given what Jeremy alluded to earlier, that he does not back down from anything, and what he says is what he delivers on.
Yeah, supposedly the only person to ever get the best of him was an American, by the way. But
Oh, is that right?
that was years and years ago. But yeah, and the only thing about Zlatan, I don't have his numbers right in front of me. I didn't do any research on the numbers of any of these guys before we did this video, but he had like 52 goals and 56 appearances or something like that in 2 years for the Galaxy. I mean, the man was literally unstoppable. And like I was saying, his first goal he scored in MLS was literally the best goal I've ever seen in probably my life.
Yeah.
It's right. To me, that's a better goal than Andy Carroll's bicycle kick.
Mhm.
And considering how he kicked it, well, it was in the air and how far away he was from that goal. Google Zlatan Ibrahimovic's first LA Galaxy goal if you want to see the best goal you'll probably ever see in your life. All I'm saying. So my number one is not necessarily a menace. In fact, he's not a dirty player in any way. But it's only because of the fact that this is probably the largest human I've ever seen play football. Um, he has, I don't know how many years he's got it going, but he has a streak for the strongest player in FIFA. I mean, as long as I've been playing FIFA, he's been the strongest player in the game. Uh, he is about to turn 40 years old, and it looks like he's probably in his last year before he retires. He is the Wickham legend, 39-year-old by the name of. Is everybody ready for this one?
I believe so.
Akinfinwa. He is one of my favorite players in football. I have a jersey in my. Of course, I can't just take my camera in there and show you, but I have a jersey in my bedroom of Wickham because of this man. He is one of the. He seems like he's one of the kindest guys in the world, but just look at this guy. He is not somebody I would want to mess with. He looks like he should be like an actual legit power lifter. Unlike Traore, he's not sculpted. This man is just large. He looks like he should be literally in a powerlifting competition, not out there playing football. And actually, this past just yesterday, he just scored a goal and an assist at 39 years old and that large, and he is not fast, I assure you. So having a goal and an assist at his age, oof. And not to mention, last year Wickham was in the championship, which is the highest that I've ever known them to ever be. He got a goal. He did get a championship goal, his first championship goal at 38 years old. Uh, this man is unbelievable. He goes by the Beast. In terms of what to compare him to on my list, I actually don't have any. The man is just a tank. He looks like a tank could run into him, and the tank would get dented, not him. So if you don't know who this is, Google Adebayo Akinfinwa. And if you don't know how to spell it, it's Akinfenwa. And I'm sure if you start typing that in, it'll come up anyway in the Google suggestion box. So he's number one on my list of scariest current footballers.
All right. Well, moving on to my number one. My number one is you could compare him to the Hulk. It's probably the best comparison I can think of. If you're a Marvel fan or have paid any attention to any comic books, this guy is literally the football version of the Hulk. I'm sure you all know where I'm going with this. But I did check. He actually posted it himself on his Instagram that he has held the record for 10 years running for the highest strength rating on FIFA.
Oh, okay.
Um, so it's like it's ridiculous. I mean, and it makes sense though because if you haven't guessed, my number one is also Adebayo Akinfinwa. He is just should not be able to play football at the level that he does with given his size. I don't know how anyone lugging around that much weight and muscle can uh, run around on the pitch for that long. It just defies uh, logic, in my opinion. But he's by far the scariest, most imposing figure I would have to say is on the football pitch.
And my two favorite Akinfinwa moments are when AFC Wimbledon got promoted. He was out of a contract right then and there. He told Jurgen Klopp to call him, give him a call because he wanted to play for Liverpool. I don't know if he's a Liverpool fan or not, but when Wickham got promoted to the championship, Jurgen gave him a call, and it was one of the most coolest things I've ever seen. and and I was happy for the guy, and I was happy to see him in the championship. And then when the Wickham did get promoted, they were trying to interview him to see how he thought, and all he kept saying was, "Say it louder for the people in the back. Welcome in the championship." And it looks like his legacy, if this is his last year, which I'm pretty sure it's already been confirmed that it is,
Mhm.
wouldn't it be something if he does help Wickham get back to the championship? Because they are in good position right now to get promoted. So I hope that he does, because he's one of my favorite players, and honestly, he seems like one of the nicest guys around, even though he looks just like intimidating as can be. So, anything left to say, Adam? Or I'm sorry, Pentagrag.
No, it's just yeah. I mean, the Instagram post that I actually looked at for Akinfenwa, he was mentioning that he had the 10-year run on FIFA for the highest strength rating, because he is going to be retiring at the end of
Mm,
the season. Um, so hate to see him go, but and I think I didn't read far enough to see who he's taking pictures with on his Instagram post, but I think I want to say he's actually taking pictures with bodybuilders, and he actually looks bigger than them.
yeah. Yeah,
uh,
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, his nickname is the Beast, and I think he even has a line of clothing called Beast Athletics or something like that. So, if you are a fan of the guy, go support him. Go to his website, buy something from him. His stuff actually looks really cool. But yeah. So that said, that's our list. Is there anybody that we left off that you think we should add? Let us know. Um, and that said, I hope everybody has a great Halloween, and I hope everybody had fun, safe last night for everybody, because I know most of the Halloween parties were last night. So if you did, I hope you're safe. If you're going trick or treating tonight, stay safe. Yeah, just have a good weekend, and I hope you had a good weekend and have a good week this week.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Have a good week.